G'day everyone, this is Jill, also known as GeniAus, in my very first Rootstech interview. And am I excited because I've got a handsome young gentleman here with me. Hope that's not scratched. It's Myko Clelland from FindMyPast, and I believe that he is the Outreach and Partnerships Manager. I think he's based in the UK, so let's find out. Myko, is that your job and
Yes,
is that where you live?
it is, and I do live there. I live in London and enjoy the rain, and I've just kind of adjusted to the Utah time now, so I'm a little jet lagged, but still there. I'm Partnership and Outreach Manager, so I speak to libraries, archives, family history societies, and really sort of help them to help other people, and I lecture, I sort of present to many places around the country, and really sort of make sure everyone's getting the best out of FindMyPast records, and really push them further forward. And it's a wonderful sort of happy time.
So does that take up many of your days?
All of my days.
All of your days?
I think,
speaking to people, right?
yes, I mean, you probably know more than anyone that genealogy doesn't really go to sleep. And
no.
so, I come back from the office and then do more genealogy. So, it's one of those things that I think it's hard to work at your hobby, but it's wonderful.
So where's FindMyPast's office?
FindMyPast office is in East London. It's in a place called Shoreditch.
Yeah.
We're in a converted Methodist church, which is very, very wonderful to look at. It's sort of apt to have a historic building, and we have a little drawing of the original first sort of minister of the Reverend the church in that place that we have our offices, and where we make the website and bring all these records to life. So yeah, it seems to be the right place to start.
So where's your main office?
So our main office is in London. We have offices in Dublin, Sydney. We have one just outside of Salt Lake City as well, and New York. And we have people working all the way around the clock, whether it's nighttime somewhere. The sun never sets on FindMyPast, and you can always be sure there's someone working on some records somewhere.
So every week in my email box, I get an email from FindMyPast giving me the news about the new records you're putting online. But I'm wondering, now we're here at Rootstech, have you any special announcements? Is there anything special happening?
So there are some huge announcements, massive announcements. So we're so proud. We've been working on this for a long time, and I felt very, very awkward having to go to these societies and being unable to talk about these wonderful records. So now I can finally speak, which is wonderful. So we've got Catholic records. We've got over 50 million Catholic records. Catholic registers have been traditionally kind of quite hard to get because you've had to go to a local church and ask permission, and it's been at the discretion of a local minister, and it's been a little hard to use. So now these records have been digitized, and that means that we've got them online for anyone to use. So if your relatives perhaps were not Church of England or anything else, then we can then find them and we can start to tell that story. So it's a wonderful thing.
Okay, so is that just for the UK, or have you got more?
So we've got records all over the UK, Scotland, England, and then we have many from America as well. So in America, they don't just cover Americans, they cover Irish migrants, they cover people from Italy, of course, so I'm very proud of those. And then we have Poles, Southern Germans, Austrians. It's all the people that came over and made America sort of what it is today.
And so what date range would they be?
They go right the way back from the formation of these dioceses. So they go back to the 1700s and things. So they're wonderful to look at.
Later in California. Wow. Let's change tack. That's so exciting. And I've got quite a few Catholics. So it just seems as though whichever minister or person of the cloth was around at the time, that's what you got your kids' Christmas.
Yes, always.
Well, that's in Australia, but then you haven't got Australian ones. But they may come. They may come. You've been into family history for a while as a boy when you were in nappies?
So I was very small, and my family are from opposite sides of Europe, from Scotland and Sicily. And so I was always told stories of the old country. And I used to sort of climb into bed with my grandmother, and she would tell me all these stories about my family. And most of them weren't true. And they followed through, but when I got to records, I could prove them and I could see what was real, and found quite a few stories of my own that had been forgotten. And it was such a wonderful thing to really sort of engage. And once I've got that feeling, I wanted to make other people feel the same thing. So that's why I'm so passionate about it.
So I'm going to ask you about a favourite ancestor, but I'm always interested in education. So what education path led you, with your hobby, passion, whatever, to FindMyPast?
So I have to confess that I did a history degree, and I wasn't actually very good at it. So I did a couple of years and didn't finish.
As long as you get the bit of paper.
Well, I didn't. That's the thing. So it got a bit awkward. But then I'm finishing a master's degree in genealogy at the moment.
Oh, okay.
And
who with?
With the University of Strathclyde, and it's a wonderful course. It's very, very useful. I recommend it.
Tahitia's lovely. I think she's here.
You don't know what you don't know until someone shows you. And now I feel much more confident and happy. And I think having this grounding and a passion for things really makes it easier to do this stuff. So if any genealogists out there sort of want to get some education in it, I think it's a really useful thing, and it can really help you not only with your own ancestors but with other people as well.
That's good. So thinking of your ancestors, your grandmother, was she Italian? Probably.
Yes.
Who do you who's your favourite?
I get quite inspired when I see, so my great-great-grandfather, for example, he died in 1812, and I have this wonderful picture of him, and he looks quite formal, and I always wonder, how would he have known all of his descendants are all over the world, in New York, in California, in Britain, still in Sicily, everywhere they could be, Australia, and I just wonder if when he got set out on his little fishing boat every morning, if he'd have realised how far his family would spread. I have an ancestor who was, I don't know if you ever heard of the 1820 rebellion in England, in Scotland actually. Yes, didn't go very well. He was one of the 13 conspirators. He was sentenced to death for high treason, and he was the first person. The first two people were hung, drawn, and quartered. He was a third to go.
They should have sent him to Australia.
Well, that's what happened. So he was. His sentence was commuted, and so he was sentenced to death, and then he was life transported, and he was a bit of a local celebrity over there in New South Wales because he was such a gallant rebel, and he lived a nice life as a blacksmith for the rest of his time. So it's a wonderful ancestor to look at.
I guess we should get back to FindMyPast. We haven't got much time left. Is there anything exciting that you can tell us? Anything else exciting that's going to happen?
Yes.
So
a little bit of a sneak preview, I guess. So we release parish registers a lot. We have more parish registers than anyone else, and they're the building blocks of family history. You really need them. So a couple of weeks ago, we released Leicestershire and Huntingdonshire Parish Records, and we have about 6 counties to come this year.
Wow.
So they'll be added to our collection already.
Fantastic.
So the big list is getting bigger.
Okay, that's fantastic. Well, Myko, we've had the wind-up. It's been so good speaking with you. Oh, well, look, just quickly, what's this you've got on you?
Oh, these are our FindMyPast badges. So we have different origins and different places we have. And so obviously with my Scottish heritage, I thought I would wear it with pride and show off a little bit.
Okay, I'm off to your stall now. Thanks for the interview.
Thanks a lot.
I'm going to get mine.